the Staff of Elements. It holds the power of your fallen foes, and soon it'll hold all but one. Master Chen to the Elemental Masters and the Ninja. Hello, I am Sensei the Dark Master, and welcome back to the Lore of Ninjago. In this installment of the Lore of Ninjago, we shall be covering another common weapon type, that being the staff. We shall cover the many types of staffs, their powers, who has wielded them, and much, much more. To start, however, I think it would be best to define what a staff actually is, as unlike other weapon types, it's actually a little more obscure, and when you Google it, the definition of staff you often get is the wrong one, and it relates more to the term that's associated with management structure as opposed to what we're looking for. But as far as weapons are concerned, staffs are a stick/pole/rod that are long and can be used to hit someone. Other more utilitarian uses including that of a walking aid. If you throw a pointed tip at the end, you get a spear, which will be the subject of a future video. Throw an axe head and you get an axe, which has been the subject of a previous video, which I recommend you go watch if you like this video. We shall start with perhaps the most well-known staff in all of Ninjago, the Staff of Elements. This was wielded by the evil Master Chen and played a major role in the Tournament of Elements. Created before the season out of a combination of chrono steel handle that is designed in such a manner to have one end resemble the tail of a hypnopry, while the other holds two fang-line spikes, an emblem of the Anacondrae and an Anacondrae skull, bearing in its mouth a blue crystal mined in a local cave. This blue crystal on its own can absorb a single element, as we know Chen did to Zane prior to the tournament. But when combined with Chrono Steel, it can absorb multiple as we see when Chen absorbs metal from Karloff, the elemental master of metal, after he lost the first round of the tournament. Chen tries to keep this a secret at first, though eventually the truth does come out thanks to the efforts of the ninja who are seeking the truth of the matter. In order to keep the tournament on track and to break up the fragile alliance the ninja had managed to form with some of the other elemental masters, Chen tricks them into thinking that they can win the tournament and thus gain the staff and thus gain more power. Regardless, in the end, Chen manages to absorb the powers of all the tournamental participants and seems to even turn Kai against the other ninja. Luckily, it turns out to be a ruse, however, and Kai manages to grab the staff. He almost becomes corrupted by the staff's power, but in the end overcomes temptation and smashes the staff, releasing the elemental powers that then return to their former owners. Of course, Chen would work around it, meaning that in some ways it can be considered unnecessary, but regardless, the Staff of Elements played a central role in the season. In terms of abilities, it had the power to absorb other people's elements, which seems to be very painful, though it can last anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes, depending on how willing it can be absorbed. Afterwards, that element can be accessed by whomever holds the staff. From there, we see a major subcategory of staffs, referred to as bow staffs, which are actually probably the most famous type of staffs in terms of culture worldwide. This term has been defined as being a highly specific form of wooden staff that originated in Okinawa, Japan, which is a small island south of, Japan. Ninjago, of course, being quite inspired by the Japanese culture, has quite a number of them, constructed out of both wood and bamboo. Perhaps the most famous of the bow staffs is the bamboo one, referred to as the staff of the first Spinjitzu master, which the first Spinjitzu master used during the Battle of 9 Days, when he, alongside the Merlopians and Islanders, fought against Wojira prior to the formation of Ninjago. Nearing his alleged death, though, He's probably not dead. He engraved three symbols into the bow staff and left it to his son, who has been unaware of them for a very long time. Wu would use the bow staff for quite a long time before its nature became relevant again when his former student, now turned into vengeful ghost Moro, sought it out. Moro, who was possessing the body of Lloyd, wanted the staff because the three symbols would allow him to locate the tomb of the first Spinjitzu master to get the realm crystal and thus released his ghostly eldritch abomination master, the preeminent. A second staff was seen in the tomb but played no major role in the broader story, except as a lesson for the ninja. Then there is the driftwood bowstaff, which is a specialized bowstaff that Balobo, the current elemental master of nature, uses that amplifies his power. It is true to its name, constructed out of driftwood, and has a spiral of vines at the top of it growing out of it. The Staff of Dragons is a golden bow staff that is said to grant the user, if they are skilled in the art of Spinjitzu, the speed and strength of a dragon. It was used by Cole. The ceremonial staff is a golden bow staff with black details wielded by Hutchins that was seemingly destroyed when Harumi betrayed the royal family. Then there was the final bowstaff variant called the Deep Stone bowstaff, wielded by Sensei Wu. It is very strange, being golden with black deep stone spikes that allow it to harm ghosts, which were the main antagonists of the Possession arc. The next staff category are the Serpentine Staffs. These are a series of 5 staffs for each of the 5 Serpentine tribes. They serve as the symbol of office for the generals of the 5 tribes, with those who gain it by combat earning the rank of general. These golden cobra inspired staffs each contain a vial of antivenom that can counter the abilities of their respective tribe. For the Hypnobrai staff, the vial is blue and bears a spiral symbol and can reverse the effects of the Hypnobrai hypnotism. It is wielded by Scales and before that Slithra, who was dethroned. The Fangpire staff bears a red anti-venom vial and has a symbol of a pair of fangs that contains an anti-venom that can reverse the vampiric bite of the tribe. It was wielded by Fang Tom. The Venomari staff bears a green anti-venom vial that bears the symbol of leaking venom and holds an anti-venom that causes hallucinogenic reactions of the tribe's venom to dissipate. It is wielded by Acidicus. The Constricti staff bears an orange vial that has a chain symbol on it and can heal a victim of the crush of Constricti. It is wielded by the mighty beefy Scalador. The last of these serpentine staffs is the Anacondri staff. As it was never physically released, it sadly never got a symbol, but it is purple and can make someone allegedly too disgusting for even an Anacondri to swallow whole. It was wielded by Pythor. When all of the antivenoms are combined, they can be used to make a map via a special area and which will reveal the location of the Fang Blades, which would then be used to awaken the Great Devourer. Replicas of the staffs would be seen during the Day of Departed, where it became a departed blade that Pythor intended to use to destroy Lloyd. The lightning staff, also called the Mammutus staff, true to its name, was primarily wielded by Mammutus, the chief of the Keepers of the Amulet. It can shock someone via electricity, as well as unlock a hiding spot for the Storm Amulet. Then there is the Iron Baron staff, which, aside from bearing a dragon skull symbol, it acted as a sign of Iron Baron's rank, but has no specific power. Then there is Asphira's staff, which allows her to tap into her magic and for a time held one of the scrolls of forbidden spinjitzu, which she used to try and get revenge on Wu for allegedly betraying her. Omega, the leader of the Oni, had a highly ornate though powerless staff to indicate his rank. The Staff of Imagination is a weapon seen in the Ninjago world from LEGO Universe. That little can be said of exactly. In fact, there's barely any actual screenshots of it. The gold bladed saw staff is a staff that has a chainsaw at the tip of it and is attached by a black lightsaber hilt. It is described as requiring extensive training and a steady hand to use in combat. It was used by Cole during his training. The claw staff are a type of weapons used by the Imperium guards that can hold someone in a claw-like grip and shoot energy blasts. The blinding staff is a black and gray staff with a translucent yellow-green disc on one end. This emits light that can illuminate areas or blind opponents. It can also be adjusted for short and long distances. It was wielded by Lloyd Garmadon prior to becoming the Green Ninja. The next staff is referred to as the Staff of Control, which is formed from a combination of several other weapons and resembles a black and gray staff with small orange spikes. It is said that if one stares directly at it, they will be hypnotized into an obedient slave to the staff's wielder. Ironically, it is wielded by Ratla, a weak hypnobrized scout with poor battle power, perhaps as a helper to his low abilities. Let us end this video with the last staff in Ninjago. It is the similar Fangdam's golden staff. It closely resembles the Staff of Control, but in all gold it has a longer handle. Its greatest ability is to negate the strength / abilities of enemy weapons. True to its name, it is wielded by Fangdam. While yes, all these staffs have a great reach, in terms of weaknesses, staffs can be hard to master. They can be bulky and thus hard to carry into many places. Tight places limit the utility of staffs and kind of make their long range moot. And in general, due to lacking cutting / piercing edges, they can't do quite as much battle damage as other weapon categories. Overall, what can we learn from the staff weapons of Ninjago? We learned that in order to succeed at life, we must be armed appropriately for whatever challenges we face, and that in order to face these hardships in our lives, we must be armed with whatever is necessary. And in the end, the greatest weapon is knowledge. I'm Sensi the Dark Master, and if you liked this video, like it. But if you loved it, consider subscribing. I upload a video every week, either on Ninjago lore or Kirby. Anyway, I hope you had a nice day, and take care.